I just got done sharing our first grade math curriculum picks, and I realized that I never actually shared my thoughts on our kindergarten math curriculum or even our preschool math curriculum. When our son did pre-K math, this is the math that we actually ended up going with, especially because our main focus was like his speech and expanding his word vocabulary. I wanted more of like a gentle, play-based math approach. He was 4 years old when he went ahead and started this, and right here it does say that she pretty much recommends little ones like around age 4 to start this book, but you can definitely introduce it like a little bit sooner. I'm debating on whether or not to introduce it to like my 3.5-year-old this year, just because our playing preschool year 2 curriculum does have its own like play-based hands-on math things, but we'll see how she does with that. Maybe we'll start it over the summer, but for sure this is going to be part of my little one's pre-K math curriculum. What I really like about this is that it's definitely more of like hands-on and using things around the house. You're going to be using your toys, your plushies, your fingers. It's just going to introduce like simple ways of learning and just having fun. When we did this with our son, we did go ahead and combined it with playing preschool year 2, but that's because I was trying to like catch him up on things. Like I said, I'm debating on whether or not to add it this time with my little one, just because she is more of like on the younger side. Now for kindergarten math, we did go ahead and continue with math with confidence. I really appreciated the continued play-based math approach. It wasn't too heavy or anything. What I liked about the workbook is that every day you are tracing a few numbers. You're starting off with like the simple numbers, but then towards the end, you're doing like the double digits and going all the way up to like 100 and stuff. What's different about this is that this is also just 1 page per lesson. Unlike the first grade math with confidence where it's like 2 worksheets per lesson, this one's just going to be 1 worksheet per lesson. I noticed more towards the end that my little one is actually really good at math. Like I was more focused on like his speech, his language, his vocabulary, that I didn't realize how good he was at math. And I did towards the end, I ended up getting like 2 different workbooks to kind of like supplement everything. We ended up getting preschool math as well as kindergarten math. My reason for starting with preschool math is because I kind of wanted to make sure that he understood like the most basic of the basic things, you know. It was very gentle and easy. We didn't do any of like the tracing things because he had like enough practice for that, but he did more of like the actual activities, and this was just a great way to make sure that he understood like the simple stuff. And then towards the end of the year and mainly over summer, we're using the kindergarten math book to kind of like review everything. My thing with this is that I regret not going through it and seeing if it aligns with anything that's in like the kindergarten math with confidence. I feel like these maybe would have been like a great way to kind of like supplement and reinforce those skills and provide like extra ways to kind of like review or make sure he understands something, kind of like how I'm doing it with our first grade stuff. I actually went through everything and made sure that if we need the extra practice, I know exactly what weeks and what lessons it can align with. When I redo kindergarten with my little one, I do plan on aligning all this. I also plan on mainly combining the kindergarten math with confidence with the kindergarten workbook, and then once we end up doing preschool next year, I plan on combining the preschool math workbook with the preschool math at home curriculum. So that's kind of like a way for me to see like, hey, we might need some extra practice because we're definitely going for like more of a play-based gentle approach, but just in case they get it and it clicks and they actually enjoy the math, I have different things and different resources to like offer them like that extra help and reassurance that they might need.